How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. It's Saturday. It's been a minute since I've gone live on a Saturday, but hey, we'll be going out of town this week, so I figured let me get this done now. Most likely, I will go live again on Wednesdays, so we'll see what happens and go from there. But life is good. We're alive. We're blessed, and like I said, I'm having a whole new outlet on life as we speak, mindset, perspective, et cetera, and so forth. So I thought a close friend of mine was like family. I thought he was having, thought he could have possibly been dead, but I'm glad that everything, for the most part, has worked out. So that's a good thing. So that's why I can smile for that reason. You know, got to be able to. That's not what I'm looking for. Like utilizing StreamYard as much as possible. So yeah, just have some chill music. But anyways, so yeah, so that's one thing I could say that I'm happy about. But hey, welcome back to the 13th edition of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. I do this at the beginning of every month, basically to mock the media, because when it comes to journalism, sometimes the media does a great job. But then when it comes to journalism, I always say that the media does a great job of scaring the crap out of people. And the main reason why I came up with this is for me, it's funny to me, number one. Number two, so many generations have missed out on generational wealth, especially the last two. When I say the last two generations of teenagers and adults, the teenagers and adults. So if you were in your late teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, or heck, even 60s, so late teens up to your 60s, from the year 2000 to present, 2023. So my calculations, that's been 23 years. Okay. 2000, the year of 2000, I was still in high school. I had 2 more years before I was going to graduate. So talking about 2000, I wouldn't even say 2020 to 2023. I'd say the 2000 to 2020. So let's just go with 20 years. And the main reason why is because so many people, generations have lost out on wealth because they just they did not have patience, and they did not have vision, and they did not do their research. Once again, people lost out on wealth in the last 20 years, from 2000 to 2020, because they did not have patience, they did not do the research, and they did not they didn't have patience, they didn't do research, and the research, and they did not just have vision. Those are the main three things. So let's go, before I even get started with making fun of the media. So let's start with patience. Patience is a virtue. Now, it's a virtue that I don't have that often, but I have when it comes to certain things, not everything. Most things I don't have patience with. So 70% of things in life I don't have patience with. But when it comes to wealth, I have a lot of patience, i.e. buying real estate, holding on to it, i.e. buying stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, and holding on to it. Okay, now, if you lived in any major city in this country, particularly New York City, all the major cities in California, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston. I'll just say those cities for now. Before the Great Migration back to the South, when people were leaving the Northeast and people were leaving the West Coast, people either were going south, and in certain instances, people went to the Midwest, because there's actually a lot of people. Hey, there's a lot of people that leave the South and move to the Midwest. I have a lot of friends that live in Texas, and Texas, they call it the hell heat. Got nothing but love for Texas. I'm going to Texas in a couple of days, but they call Texas heat that hell heat. And in the summertime, that is real. I think it's the most bearable, like when you go to Galveston or whatnot, because you're on the coastline, the Gulf Coast, and it's a nice little breeze and whatnot. But there's some serious hell heat in Texas, whether you're in San Antonio, Dallas, or Houston in the summertime. And I can only imagine what it's like. I don't think it was too bad when I was in Austin, but maybe okay, hell heat. But anyways, so a lot of people that live in those areas, they actually moved to Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, because they actually wanted to they don't mind cold weather. They actually don't mind the snow. I mean, I'm sure now, obviously, after, I think it's been 2 years now, that when Texas had their issue with the power, and I think the power was out for a week or weeks, and they had an unexpected snowstorm, and the power grid went kaput. So, that was a terrible thing. But yeah, a lot of they used to, me growing up in the DMV area, they saw snow. These jokers would be happy to see snow. They're like, oh, I wish I could see some snow. But I'm looking at them like, yeah, I'm anti-snow because at my house. Now, I wouldn't mind, like, one day a bucket list is to go to a ski resort in like Colorado, something like that, Utah, in that middle America part of the country and whatnot. But here's the beautiful thing: if I go to a place like that, I don't have to worry about shoveling snow. So that's the thing. It's like in my house, having to worry about shoveling snow, that pretty much sucks. Period. But anyways, moral of the story is, if people would have held on to real estate and businesses, if your family owned real estate and businesses in those cities that I mentioned earlier, like I said, all the major cities in California, New York City, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, heck, Miami, if I could take it south, Miami, all the major cities in Texas now, but like I said, New Orleans, I mean, these are places that have been completely gentrified now, or are still in the process of being gentrified, meaning that the cost of rent is insane, the cost of housing is insane. Trying to purchase a home is insane, But a lot of times people left places because of three reasons. One, they just wanted to get a new experience. They were tired of living in the city and the state that they were in. Cost of living reasons, added on top of that. Number two, they listened to the media. I'm guilty of this myself, so I can't knock people for doing that, because I have been guilty of listening to the media and missed out on lots of great economic opportunities. If you own real estate in New York City to this day, you're sitting on a gold mine. If you own real estate in Los Angeles to this day, especially if you're from that generation of people who bought houses when they were more quote unquote reasonably priced, when they were, 80 to 100,000 or 200 to 300,000. Now a cheap house in these cities is under $1 million. Most houses in these cities start at $1 million. So these are things that matter the most. And then the other aspect of it, people listening to the media, meaning that, oh, it's so dangerous, it's this, that, and the other, don't come here, blah, blah, blah. But slowly but surely, people were buying up real estate in these cities, from the West Coast, East Coast, to down south, parts of the Midwest. And they knew that what was coming in regards to, hey, but just by looking at the city's planner's office, and when it comes to politics, I think all politics is local. So I think I try to pay attention to more to local politics more, because the local politics controls the economics. Regardless if it's a Democratic or Republican district, the local politicians are going to be the ones that are going to have meetings and have partnerships with corporations who are going to do business, and who probably donated to these people's campaign, but are going to do business in these people's district. So if you were going to any of these city meetings, if you were even privy to the information that was being floating around at the time. I mean, heck, the beautiful thing about the United States of America, you have the thing called the Freedom of Information Act, federal government, state government, and local government. So you can acquire certain information as long as that information is not considered to be sensitive and compromising to a government entity, and you can do that. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's the awesome thing about the United States of America. But what I'm saying is, AKA transparency. But if I would have had access to the information, because like I said, I grew up 40 minutes south of Washington, D.C. in Woodbridge, Virginia. If I would have been privy to the information in regard, and I say this a lot of times on my Go Live, of the information, and if I had the right mindset, that's why I don't like being distracted too much. If I had the right mindset and being privy to, hey, if you buy one piece of real estate in the District of Columbia right now, eventually, whether it's the worst neighborhood or the best neighborhood, eventually you're going to get double, in certain instances triple what your investment may be. Just buy a 2-bedroom 1-bathroom house, or 3-bedroom 1-bathroom house. You'd be sitting on Easy Street, even if it's in the hood. But I did not have that mindset. Growing up, DC was always just considered the dangerous city, and I've been to Washington, D.C. enough to know I've never been robbed there. I've been robbed in Virginia. I've been robbed in California. That's just because I didn't realize how bad the Bay Area was. And I already went live and talked about how the Bay Area was a disappointment. But anyways, long story short, sorry, I'm just, of course, somebody will call me when I am live. Hold on one second, family. I need to tell the person I'll call them back. So, but yeah, so anyways, long story short, yeah, so long story short, sorry, I got this distracted. So yeah, long story short, you know, if I would have not listened to the people, you know, of course, do my own homework, do my own research, but if I just would have done, and even doing the research saying, hey, the city of DC, and the crazy thing is I kicked myself in the foot because in my earlier to mid 20s, I didn't have this mindset like I have now in regards to economics, in regards to investments, assets. One of the biggest regrets is, I remember 2005, they were talking about how Washington, D.C., that the mayor, I think his name was Anthony something. But anyways, it might have been Anthony Williams. Mayor Williams. I know his last name was Williams. Anyways, I remember he helped with the start of the gentrification of Washington, D.C., but he was trying, you know, the whole point was, hey, he, you know, whether you like it or not, regardless of city, state, federal government does business with corporations. Government helps, and you can, I don't even know why anybody would hate the government, because the government actually helps create millionaires, okay? Regardless of who's sitting in the White House, governor's house, mayor's house. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it real, all right? You got federal government contractors, state government contractors, local government contractors. People make bank off the government in a big, big way. And I know that more than ever coming from the DMV. And in every state capital you go to, it's going to be the same thing. Every city mayor's office is going to be the same thing. County government is going to be the same thing. So miss me with the other stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I remember they was talking about the gentrification. The biggest thing was the Nats baseball stadium. I don't watch sports, but I remember that was the biggest deal at 2004 and 2005. To me at the time, I'm working 2 to 3 jobs. I'm getting my money right. That's all I cared about. When everybody wanted, especially me being from the DMV, it's the #1 place in the world because this is the hub of the government. People love to debate politics, regardless of who's in office, and I'm just not with it. But do what you do. But anyways, I remember distinctly that the Nat Stadium was the thing that changed everything in Washington, D.C. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they did not have a baseball team at the time, and they put it in an area that is known or near Southeast DC. And that was, quote unquote, the beginning of the end of a lot of project housing in Washington, DC. A lot of government housing was diminished. And it's always happened in a lot of major cities. And 9 times out of 10, when a stadium is built in the city, this I've learned recently, the city pays for it. They make a deal with the corporation. So it is what it is. That happens in all cities and states. And that was the beginning of the end when it comes to the old DC, old Washingtonian, being more of a blue collar town. It became more of a white collar town, and became more of a, hey, you got to have your money right town. So you couldn't just be a basic worker bee town in Washington, DC. And now the whole DMV area is like that. Unless you want to have like 7 people living up in the house, which that's become the norm in the DMV area, just like it's become the norm in Boston, New York, and all of California. And it's becoming the norm in Miami, Florida. And it's going to become the norm in other major cities too, but I digress. But anyways, long story short, if I just would have I could have bought a house back in those days, but didn't have the right mindset. Had good credit, had money in my savings, could have bought me a house back then, especially during the economic downturn, between 2007, 2010. If I would have bought a house in DC back then, I'd be a millionaire. If I did my own research. This is why I came up with today's forecast. We're all going to die, because the media does a great job of scaring the crap out of people, and a lot of times keeping people disillusioned, misinformed, and the beautiful thing, scared all the time. So I had to just get out, I had a rant, I had to get that out. It's all good, either way. But yeah, let me respond. So So yeah, anyway, so yeah, at the end of the day, like that's the reason why I started making fun of the media. Okay. That's just what it is. You know. So here's one story I'm gonna mock because I just find it to be funny. Where is it at? Here we go. Today's forecast. We're all gonna die. Judge rejects Donald Trump's immunity claim in 2020 election case. Remember, I'm on either side of any political aisle. I don't vote anymore. I don't care who's in office anymore. The government's going to do a great job regardless of who's in office. The country didn't collapse when Obama came in office. It didn't collapse when Trump came in office. It didn't collapse when Biden came in office. So I'm very neutral. I don't have a political opinion when it comes to politics anymore. So whoever you want to vote for, don't. Cool. You want to argue with people about it? I'm not your guy. I only argue about money. Anyways, it says Donald Trump does not have immunity from criminal charges for actions he took as president. U.S. judge ruled on Friday, which was yesterday, rejecting his bid to toss out the case brought by special counsel Jack Smith, accusing him of unlawful trying to overturn his 2020 election laws. Now, I always say, and I had this discussion, not argument, it was actually a good adult discussion, because a lot of times when people, I notice the older I get, people, if you actually have a good objective opinion about something, they don't want to have a discussion. They just want to argue and get ticked off like little kids. So that's why I'm very choosing who I will have an adult conversation / debate with, because if you're going to get into your feelings, then you've already lost the battle with me. But I digress. And it shouldn't even be a battle. Like if you can challenge me and show that I'm wrong in an aspect, I'm cool with that. But a lot of people, they just can't handle that. So I leave it at that. But anyways, so here's the thing with the Donald Trump, because I've not followed it. I remember when I went to InvestFest last summer in August, he was actually in Atlanta, and they shut down half the streets in downtown Atlanta because he was there, because they were bringing him up on charges. And I was just like, okay, whatever. That's how oblivious. I didn't realize that he was there until I got there, because that's how much I watched the news. That's how totally oblivious I was to it. And I left it at that. But either way, it's funny, and I'll leave it at that. Today's forecast. Before I even move on, whether Trump gets convicted or not doesn't have any effect on my life. Whether he gets back in office or not doesn't have any effect on my life. I think more working Americans need to stop worrying about who's in office or running for office, and start operating more like people who immigrate to the United States who can't even vote. Whether they're here illegally or illegally, the people that are going to win in today and tomorrow's U.S. economy are the ones that are families. I say this all the time. I'm like a broken record at this point. Families who are operating like a corporation, putting resources and talents together, buying up assets, utilizing people's social security numbers, credit scores, buying up real estate, opening up businesses, utilizing each other's talents and whatnot. Those are the families that are going to win in tomorrow's economy moving forward. Those are the families that are definitely going to win more going into 2024. The ones that are going to continuously lose, in my personal opinion, the people that still think that they can operate like it's the Brady Bunch, and the mother stays at home, the father goes to work. You're going to scrape by more and more, unless the father's like making millions of dollars, which most regular working people are not. So that's why I always say regular working people. All right, even if you live in the backwoods of Wyoming and Mississippi, the opportunities for you to financially perish in this country grow bigger and bigger every day, because the cost of living goes up every single day. But what do I know? I'll leave it at that. All right, today's forecast. We're all going to die. Next was DeSantis, Newsom, and Newsom, which DeSantis is governor of Florida, Newsom's the governor of California, get mixed reviews from young voters after great red versus blue state. Now, me personally, I've been to both states. Only reason why I like California more than Florida is because I love the geography of California. Florida's flat. In the summertime, the weather's not as nice as it is in California. So that's why I like California more than Florida. One good thing that Florida and California have in common is they have good beaches. And for the most part, because both states have crazy people, they have a little bit more of a laid back energy to it. So that's what I like. Me being from the East Coast, I always feel like I have more of a Southern / Western spirit / soul. So I'm more of and the people from the West Coast and down South know to be more mellow, more laid back with it. And I have that energy. So that's why I mess with that. But I think young voters are more intelligent nowadays than my generation was, because I'm 40 years old. I'm an 80s baby. I think the 90s babies and anybody who's between 18 years old and 28 years old are much more intelligent. They have much more access to information than my generation did, than any other generation in history. Number one. And number two, I think most of them are not falling for the weak speeches anymore. I think most young voters are going to be like, hey, what's going to be in, kind of like I am right now? What's in this for me financially? If you can't tell me what's in this for me financially, then what are we talking about here? Because that's how this game works. The hat says make money moves, and I always say you're liberal like a fool, because we live in a great country known as being a capitalistic country. So if you can't get access to capital, what are we talking about? That's why so many people want to immigrate here, because hey, they have opportunity to get a good job. They have an opportunity to get access to capital. Sometimes people, depending on the program that they're in regards to immigration, they get a couple $1,000s. They get set up in housing and things of that nature. So hey, there's an economic gain, and they haven't even voted yet. So that's why I said, what's the economic gain? What's the economic play? I don't need to know the politics. I just need to know the economics. And that makes me more American than most, because hey, I know what it's all about. America was a corporation before it was a country. So what are we talking about? What is the financial implications? What is the gain? If you're not talking about the financial gain, then you ain't nothing but a lame, as they would say, or as my friend James in California would say. If I don't hear about the financial gains, then you talking like you's a lame. Because I don't talk like that. But anyways, I just like when he says that, because it makes me laugh, because he's just being realistic about it. All right, today's forecast: we're all gonna die. Speaker Johnson says he believes GOP has the votes for Biden impeachment inquiry. So I've made fun of Nancy Pelosi, so now I'm going to make fun of this person. So inflation's high. People are having a hard time buying food and scraping by. A lot of people, we're looking at a generation of people who are not going to be able to buy a home because it's deemed unaffordable. A lot of jobs are going to be taken away because of AI. A lot of commercial real estate, it's not going to. It is collecting dust. Crises are all around us. But let's worry about impeaching Joe Biden. I don't understand. And let's say if it does happen, and let's say Joe Biden says tomorrow, I don't want to be the president anymore. I'm good. I've done everything I can in government. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my days in Wilmington, Delaware, wherever the heck he's going to decide to live the rest of his days. Enjoy in peace and forget this nonsense. Waste of time. But I digress. What do I know, right? What do I know? All right, next up. And this is some good news, because I wanted to talk about something good, because it's rare that I see anything positive in the media. So let me go for it. Today's forecast: we're not going to die. Macaulay Culkin, child actor, star, who I first saw on the movie Home Alone. I still got the old Home Alone 1 and 2 VHS tapes sitting in my living room. That's how old school I am with it. Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Songs make the first public appearance, which is the woman who played his mother. He received a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame as of yesterday, December 1st. So yeah, today is December 2nd, not the 3rd. But December 1st, I saw the speech and celebrated with those close to his heart, including Brenda Songs and his Home Alone co-star, Catherine O'Hara. And I think that was great. Macaulay Culkin's proud to have Brenda Songs and their 2 kids by his side as he gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I think this is a great thing, because he's 43 years old. I really feel old now. He's undergone some issues in life, and he's worked through them, and I'm happy for him. He said the Salute, and he was a part of a series called Salute Life of Zach and Cody. Actress 35 made a rare public appearance with their 2 children, son Dakota 2 and baby boy, whose birth was revealed in March, as he received the star on Hollywood. Dakota sported a mohawk style and blue jumpsuit on the red carpet, while his younger brother completed his adorable look with a white sweater and a pale blue vest. Hawkins' families weren't the only ones there for the big occasion. Fat Catherine O'Hara, who played his mom in both Home Alone movies, and one of the ceremony speakers, Natasha Lennon, who appeared alongside him in the 2003 film Party Monster and Adam Green's Aladdin in 2016. While fans have seen Culkin on screen since he was a kid, he tends to keep his private life out of the spotlight, which is a smart thing to do because too many people have their private life in the spotlight, especially in Hollywood. He says, in fact, the My Girl alumni and song, whose engagement was confirmed in 2022, have attended only a few public events together and have shared just the occasional insight into their family's world. She says, my boyfriend and I are very hands-on, the doll-faced star said in a 2022 interview. We don't have a nanny, but mom has been here and with us since my son was born. I didn't know he's going to marry the girl who is the My Girl star. And, at the end of the day, I think this is a good thing for one reason. Because I think, and let's just be realistic about it. These two grew up in Hollywood. They grew up, they've seen the good, the bad, and definitely, I know Macaulay Culkin has seen the ugly of Hollywood. So with that being said, they're probably over it. It's like me growing up in the DMV. I don't lose sleep. Like a lot of people move to the DMV area when they see the Washington monuments all around DC. They're caught up in the awe and the allure of everything, and they love it. And there's nothing wrong with it. I remember one of my friends, his wife. She works in Congress. No, she's not she was an aide, but then she ended up getting a government job doing like public relations or something to that effect. But anyways, she moved to the DMV area because she loves being surrounded by the government. She loves it. She was an Army reservist to this day. I think she's about to retire now. Because she's got her time in. She loves working doing the public affairs stuff, regardless of who's in office. She loves being able to serve government in any capacity. She loves, talking about the Constitution and things of that nature. This is what she loves. But she knows when to detox from it all because she's been around it long enough. When she first came here, she was immersed in it 100% of the time because she was trying to get her foot in the door. But now she's become, they say I'm jaded because I'm from the DMV area, but she's become more mellow and laid back with it. She's like, look, the ship is going to run with or without me, so let me just do my job. It's the same thing in Hollywood. The ship is going to run without Macaulay Culkin and his future wife. So they have not immersed themselves. They were immersed in it when they were kids. So as adults, they're like, hey, the main things that are important in life are family, friends, and your day to day. I always quote Vanilla Ice. I remember back, they used to have a thing on VH1 called Behind the Music. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But anyways, he said, look, life's not about this fame and fortune. Life is about the people you wake up to. He got married, he had a daughter, I think he had another kid, and hey, he's a successful real estate mogul now down in Florida. He left California, he got away from the Hollywood limelight nonsense, and that's at the end of the day. I think the older you get, you want to I'm learning to appreciate the simple things in life. I'm learning to appreciate the things that matter the most, to the people that matter the most, and I'll leave it at that. So, you know what? Kudos to Macaulay Culkin. Keep up the great work and go from there. All right, we got one more before I call it a day. Okay, what do we got? Might be my lucky day. Okay, what do we got? All right, so today's forecast, this is last but not least, we're all gonna die. Thieves target expensive goose jackets in Washington, D.C. I usually never talk about what's happening in Washington, D.C., so why not try? Now I remember before I even go forward, back when I was in high school, the Averex jackets, leather jackets, which cost like $300 back then. This was talking about the late 90s. Used to be the thing that used to get on people's people used to get robbed for and whatnot. And then Timberlands too, like when I was in high school. So every generation they have their thing. There's never been a generation where you didn't have a bunch of crooks anywhere. It's like Will Smith says, it's just more things are being recorded now. People used to be able to do a lot of things in the dark that never came to light, but we live in the age of social media. It's going to come to light eventually, even if you don't have any social media profiles. We all have these cell phones. People can record you doing some dirt, and there's cameras darn near everywhere nowadays. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyways, the article says it's something I have to think about just putting my jacket on. American University student said that because she was wearing a Canada Goose jacket, which I've never seen one, or I just don't care to pay attention to it, has become a target for thieves. She says, I know George Washington University, Georgetown, same issue where a lot of people are just stealing these jackets out of locker room, classrooms. And at least one instant, they are stealing them at gunpoint too. Police said 3 suspects hopped out of a car, pointed guns, and demanded the victim's Canada Goose jacket just a few blocks from DuPont Circle on Tuesday night. And here's the crazy thing. And this is one thing, like I said, I'm about to end this off, but you can gentrify a city all you want to, but if you make it, if you make a city to the point where the working poor can't afford to live there, and it's basically because most of the major cities in the United States nowadays have basically become the haves and have-nots. Like I said, suburban communities, you still have a middle class. Small towns, you still have a middle class. But most major cities, if I'm not going to say 100%, I'm going to go with up to 65 to 70% of American major cities in the city limits, not the metropolitan areas, but in the city limits, the middle class is all but faded, tarnished. Whether it's Seattle, Portland, all the major cities in California, all the major cities in Texas, all the major cities in Florida, Atlanta is becoming the same way. Philadelphia, surprisingly, is becoming the same way. Newark, New Jersey is becoming the same way. Boston, Chicago is becoming the same way. Detroit, slowly but surely, is coming the same. Cincinnati, Ohio, of all places. City limits, it's becoming places where people cannot work. Middle class people cannot afford to live, and poor people cannot afford to live. It's for the upper crest, upper echelon, and 6-figure salary is not even really cutting it to one to be able to afford to be able to live in a major city, and not scraping by paycheck to paycheck. So with that being said, my point is, at the end of the day, is I think incidents like this will occur more and more often. But another thing is, we're talking about a jacket here, and that's the one last thing I needed to look up is like, hey, when I got robbed and because I was foolish enough to leave something important in my book bag. Luckily, I didn't have anything real important in there. But hold on a second. How much does a Canadian Goose jacket cost? Oh, okay. Well, I learned something new every day. This jacket costs up to $1,500. Now I see why people are stealing it. Okay, up to $1,500. You got some that are $795. I don't know about you. I'm not spending no $1,500 on a jacket, even if I'm a millionaire. And you a college kid with a $1,500 jacket, the $700 jacket? Okay, maybe I guess I'm just cheap. I don't understand. I don't condone people stealing it, but if you got something that expensive on, you better be packing or doing something. You to be ready to counter because you're a target. Does it make it right? No, but you are a target. So I'm gonna leave it at on that note. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Today's forecast. We're all gonna die. It's the 13th edition. I'll do my next one. I'll see you guys in January because we're in December. I only do this once a month to mock the media, but I'm glad I was able to at least find a positive article. I was happy to find at least a positive article on that note, but because usually I'm mocking the media because it's always, they just do a good job of trying to keep things negative. So I leave it at that. But anyways, enjoy your life. Do what you got to do. Hopefully you appreciate the content, like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a great day. Comment, watch the videos. But hey, on that note, if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL/ACORScrypto.com. With all those platforms, you'll be able to make some money moves. And hey, you get free $5, $50 once you sign up and all that great stuff. But on that note, I'm out. Take care. Greatly appreciate everybody's donations with the Cash App, the PayPals, and the Venmos. On that note, family, I'm out of here. Take care.
Mike, now. Mike, now.
everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.
Now.